So, welcome everyone to the launch of the third Kirklees Top 100 Companies list. I need to remind you that we are filming today, and also we've got a photographer around taking photos, so if you don't want to be picked up on the film or on the photos, please do either avoid it or let the photographer know and try and make sure that you're not featured if you don't want to be. So first of all then, my name is Sue Cook. I'm from the 3M Buckley Innovation Centre in Huddersfield, and on behalf of the founding partners of the Top 100, can I say that we are so delighted to finally be able to meet you all in person today. Such a great turnout. Thank you all for coming out in the rain through the roadways on a strike day, so we're really pleased to see you all. So today for us is a great opportunity to celebrate the success of the Kirklees business community and to get to know each other better, which is already been happening. So those of you who have featured in the list before will know that we have had 2 online launches during the pandemic era, accompanied by all the terror of what might go wrong online. So now, today, we can simply concentrate on getting on and off the stage in one piece, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. So for those of you that are new to the Kirklees Top 100, I'd like to say a brief word about our origins and who's involved. So the idea was borrowed from a good friend of mine, Charles Storr, who's here today. Charles works for the City of York and set up the York Top 100 as part of their business week several years ago. So welcome, Charles. Thanks for joining us today and for sharing York's concept so generously. Knowing this to be a good thing for showcasing and bonding the business talent of the area, we thought we should create something similar in Kirklees. And thankfully, the university, the council and the Huddersfield Examiner all agreed to join forces with the 3M BIC, and so here we are today, publishing our 3rd edition of the list. This year, we've seen quite a lot of movement in the top 100, over 25 new entrants overall, and 5 new names in the top 10. So we have got an exciting countdown for you later on, where Professor Joel Johns, over here, who is Dean of the Huddersfield Business School, will reveal the top 10 and some special award winners. Hopefully those of you with eagle eyes will have already seen the top 100 scrolling on the screens around the room, just this one here, and spotted your companies on there, at least as far as number 11. We haven't revealed, obviously, the top 10 just yet, so you should have spotted if you're in the rest of the list where you are. But we will be handing out the lovely new green brochure at the end of the event, so please take home a small stash to put in your reception areas and to share with your staff, who I'm sure will be proud to be featured in the Kirklees 100. Now this year we have made several new developments to the top 100, so I'm just going to give those a brief mention. We now have a dedicated website where you can find a PDF version of the brochure to download, plus videos of some of the companies in the list. The web address will be shown on screen later, it's also on our banner over there, and it will go live from today once the list is being revealed. So please do, if you want to share the PDF version, please do use that. We also have a thriving social media presence. We've got over 700 people following the Kirklees Top 100 in a dedicated group on LinkedIn, plus more on Twitter, and we share positive stories from the Top 100 every week. So please do follow us and we will share your good news too. Thirdly, we now have a talent group which is well established as a peer group of HR managers and directors from firms across the district who meet virtually and occasionally in person every few months to share ideas and intelligence about talent recruitment, retention and development, key issues for us all. There are quite a few members, I'm going to ask them to give us a wave now actually, quite a few members of the talent group here today, so thank you all for coming, and hopefully if there's anyone else who wants to join them, please contact us. The next meeting is going to be at Thornton and Ross in November, hosted by Lauren, so we'll be going on tour a little bit to have a look at what interesting companies are up to there. And fourthly and finally, on the new developments, on the theme of encouraging talent, this year we've produced a spin-off brochure, the Careers Edition, with the very generous support and commitment of our sponsor, Steve Moore from City Fibre. So this is what it looks like, with a green one, but we won't be handing that one out today. I'll explain why in a minute. So the Careers Edition presents the top 100 companies for young people in our schools, university and colleges to use as a reference document when they're looking for jobs, placements, internships and careers ideas. So we'll be launching this across Kirklees in a few weeks' time in partnership with the schools, etc. So now I'd like to explain the format for the rest of the session. Before we hear the countdown from Jill, we'll have a panel session including some of our partners and businesses who will be discussing how the Kirklees business community is faring through these interesting times. So I'd like to welcome to the stage our 4 panellists in turn. So first of all, from Kirklees Council, Chief Executive Jackie Gedman. And from the University of Huddersfield, Dr. Nick Lancaster, Director of Research, Innovation and From Huddersfield Town Football Club, who have generously supported today's event and have provided our breakfast. Daniel McGeehue, Head of Partnerships and Business Development. And from Thornton and Ross, who topped last year's list, Christine Holly, who's the UK Operations Manager. Please So, welcome panellists. So, we'd like to start off looking backwards a little at what's happened over the last year. So I'm going to ask each of you, and I've got a microphone here, but I'm going to just check it's working. Do the honours, do a bit of testing.
Does it work?
There's a little red button. Anyone's got the knack for?
Does it work now?
Excellent. So my first question for you all is, coming out of the pandemic, how has the last year been for your organisations and for the Kirklees economy in general? So, Chris, would you like to start on how it's been for Thornton and Ross?
Yeah, I think I might as well, since I'm the one with the microphone. Hi everyone. I think for us what it's really shown us is that we need to have flexibility. So flexibility for our people who now have experienced working from home as well as working in the office. So being able to manage the business using that model and giving people the flexibility that actually, can work for both them and the business, but also flexibility in terms of our factory. When the pandemic hit, it had quite a big impact on our demand. So for a company that makes disinfectants and cough medicine, you can imagine the impact of a pandemic. So we've seen our demand shoot right up and come right down again, and we've had to really react to that. So we've had to be very flexible on a number of fronts.
Right, thank you. Daniel?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think when I was talking to the guys and said there was a question about the P word, my head went straight to, you talk about the Premier League and promotion, but actually, so we kind of put COVID behind us. But yeah, I think it coincided with a number of changes at the football club as well. So I think that it's difficult to pinpoint what had the most impact. I think as an industry, obviously our industry is all about getting large groups of people together in one space and for leisure. So on a macro level, it was massively affected. I think for Huddersfield Town, naturally some of the businesses that we work with, so my role and the commercial team's role here is obviously to build relationships with businesses. I think we saw some pullback on marketing spend due to the uncertainty, but actually overall I would say that it's been a real positive reaction. A lot of businesses are desperate to now go out and innovate out of that kind of the challenges that they had and start bringing things to life again. And what better way than getting involved here? So yeah, we've seen a really positive impact.
Thank you. Nick?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Slightly concerned that I'm the only one that Sue gave notes to this morning. I'm not sure if that's because you trust me or want me to keep on messaging. Let's go for the form. It's been a very tough year for universities, naturally, as for everyone. A tough few years. The students going into the lockdown are now completely different type of students now. The international market's changed fundamentally. Our main business model, face-to-face teaching, had to change 180 degrees, and now we've got to change that back again. So obviously there are some challenges around sort of gaining the trust again of our undergrad and postgrad community. So that's clearly a main challenge. My own particular area, looking at collaborative research with businesses, clearly many businesses have been focusing on the day-to-day, and perhaps often skills, high-level skills, research and development, collaboration. That's kind of tomorrow. That's kind of strategic. A lot of businesses clearly understand we haven't been focusing on that. But obviously many of you have, and it's very, very hard indeed to see so many people interested in discussing that with us. I come up, relatively new to Huddersfield. You have to be here about 20, 30 years to not be new to Huddersfield. But I think I've been up here a few months, came from Luton, as a matter of fact. And I'm heartened actually just how vibrant the business community is in all sorts of areas. Clearly textiles, obviously historically, but health, digital technology and so on and so forth. And that maps very well on to many of the university's expertise, and as I said, very enthused and looking forward to working with them.
That's it. Jackie?
Like everybody else, I think, can you hear me? Oh. Hi. So, like everybody else, I think I'm as fed up with the P word as everybody else. And I'll start off by saying I'm always a glass half full type of girl. So I think the last 12 months for me has been quite challenging. There's a definite flexibility theme about how do you redesign an organisation that delivers public services whilst trying to kind of take the benefits of COVID in terms of work practices and that kind of thing, but create an organisation fit for the future. So it has been hugely challenging trying to kind of recognise that people got lots of benefit from working from home, but actually we've still got frontline services to deliver. So we spent a lot of time focusing on that. We've also spent a lot of time focusing on trying to recover from, as an organisation, around some of the challenges of almost dropping everything for 2 years in order to deal with the pandemic and then get back into a new way of working. So that's been really interesting. But the one thing I agree around business community and the local community, and you need to be here a lot longer than 20 years to be accepted by Huddersfield. I've been here about 20 odd now. One of the things I have really been inspired by is the sense of passion that there is for the local place and local people, and the business community pulling together in a way probably I've never seen pre-pandemic actually. There's just something about kind of really strong and special about people seeing a common goal and trying to achieve that in what is a really difficult and will remain for many years, I think, a difficult set of circumstances.
Thanks. Jackie, would you like to keep hold of the mic and we'll come back the other way for the next question? Thank you. So this week, everyone, is West Yorkshire Innovation Festival. There have been quite a lot of events going on all through the week, including this one. So we'd like to play to that theme. So how important, panel, do you think innovation is to the success of our business community?
I don't think there'll be anybody on the panel, I'll predict this already, I don't think anybody on the panel will not think innovation is probably one of the most significant things that we will need to focus on in the next few years. Coming back again to the strategy with the university, the college, and the local education sector, I think there is an awful lot of passion around trying to ensure that innovation drives the future of everybody. Certainly from a council point of view, it's probably worth saying that some of the financial challenges that we're experiencing will mean that if we can't innovate our way out of that, then that will really impact at a local level. So innovation is hugely important, and I think kind of, almost opening up some of those challenges in a way that people possibly haven't in the past, and reaching out as big organisations is probably key, and giving people the opportunity to invest in the things that we know that there'll be a long-term sustainability in.
Correct.
Thank you.
Innovation is very important. It's so important in my job title. Historically, Kirklees has been a low-wage economy. Innovation, R&D spend, investment in high-level skills, keeping graduates in the region. These are all incredibly important aspects. That's what we're trying to do. As I say, research and development collaboration is what my game is. Very to talk to many of you, and indeed there are many people from the university here today. Can you stick your hand up? There you go. They were in disguise. There was some security around that. And again, we're very interested to talk to you. Because innovation is always many guises.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think from my position in the football club, we get to meet and speak to lots of different businesses, and round with Sean the other day at Flex Hose, and what we see in the region is unbelievable in terms of hidden gems really right under our nose. So the amount of innovation that we see, I think, Ken was a bit of an eye-opener locally, and again around the 3M Big the other day, it's remarkable. I think for us as an industry, we're part of a huge global industry. Obviously, the Championship is the third most watched league in the world. It's the global reach is absolutely huge. So there's always innovation happening within our industry that we need to keep across. Obviously, streaming and some of the over-the-top technologies, some of the industries that are coming into football now to disrupt it, whether it be on the digital and the NFT and everything else that's going on. There's lots of stuff happening on a macro level that really does impact us, but locally as well, and here within the building, we've had to innovate and change the way that we approach engaging with businesses. In the past, the club's done an unbelievable job at working with SMEs, and I think the industry generally was quite traditional in that sense, and it was around, if you want to work with a football club as a business, how do you do that? Well, you just advertise and you put some branding somewhere and get tickets to things. That's not really the way that the industry is moving for us. It's about being able to create meaningful connections between the club, your business, our community, our fans. So all that requires a lot of innovation, not just from a technology point of view, which I think often people talk about innovation and mean technology, but it's about being innovative in our approach and our structure and aligning our products to actually fit the market of the people that are in this room. So yeah, macro level is a lot going on in the industry that's really exciting, and you can spend hours and hours looking at that and watching it all online. But we're doing some quite interesting things here as well.
Okay, so I think we're on a fourth vote for innovation. Coming from a pharmaceutical manufacturing company, the way that you grow really is through innovation and new products. So, for us, that's it's a double win really, because you're coming up with new products and new ways to help care for people's health, but at the same time we're growing the company and we're providing jobs and opportunities in the community. So it's absolutely key for us, and our strategy innovation is really important.
Thank you very much, everyone. So looking to the future next, what do you think will be the big challenges and opportunities facing your organisations and the wider region ahead? Let's start.
Yeah, sure. So, interestingly, the few people I have spoken to today, I think a lot of our challenges are, potentially the same. For me, I see two key challenges coming up that we're dealing with now, and I think we'll be dealing with for some time. One is around people, retention and recruitment. So, getting hold of the right people and keeping them in the business when there's so many opportunities elsewhere is something that we really need to focus on. And the other key challenge we have is around materials. So as a factory, you're not making anything if you've not got materials coming into the factory, and the global supply chain, there are issues all over the place that we're working every day to address, and I think that's going to be a challenge for some time to come.
Yeah, our biggest challenge is winning football matches, really. that tends to be it. I think in an industry where you can't really look past the weekend, that's the next challenge. But from a business point of view and what we do, obviously attracting to work with long-standing partners is really important for us. I think, again, a lot of football clubs have operated in a bring somebody on board as a business, hope that they're a fan, hope that we have a good year on the pitch, and then they'll renew. One thing you definitely can't rely on is having a good year on the pitch. So for us, the biggest challenge is what can we do off the pitch from a business point of view that is unaffected by what happens out there on a Saturday afternoon. And if we can crack that, we've done a really good job. I don't think many people can. But yeah, the challenges are certainly around building longer standing relationships with partners that we can have real impact, not just commercially, but to the community as well, the people that we work with, so the fan base, the participants within the Huddersfield Town Foundation. How can we really make a meaningful impact through partnerships with our business community?
Thanks. Much to my surprise, the energy crisis pandemic didn't actually cure Brexit. Very surprised about that. To be successful, it's about investment, it's about research and development power. The target in the government's national industrial strategy, 2.4% of GDP invested back into research and development. That was aspiration set 6-7 years ago now, something like that. That still hasn't been achieved, and that total was just the European average. That includes some Greece's and Portugal's as well, which don't get everything down. Actually, when you look at our real competitors, Germany, America, Japan, and South Africa is well above that. And so really getting public and private sector together, there's not enough money in the public purse to achieve that sort of investment. It has to be about public and private working together. Now that's a major, major challenge for everyone. So that's what we're discussing today. Very concerned that there was potentially discussion with Jacob Rees-Mogg around actually reducing R&D budgets at BAYS. Now that hasn't actually happened, but even to have that sort of level of discussion at the moment is a big, big concern. And I think for universities, they're just not in the discussions at the moment because people are focused on other things to see universities as drivers in the economy of their skills and R&D. So I think that's a major challenge. Some of the major opportunities for the university are things like our massive aspirations with the Innovation Health Campus in Southgate. Particularly exciting. I think we'll probably talk about today with Liz Nicole if you want to get her and find out what it is outside. I promise you I won't mention it there again.
Okay, so I'll give two perspectives actually. So we have, I don't know if you know this, and if you don't and you want to meet them, then please let me know. We have a business support team for council. Have a business. Can you hear me now? Like that. How great when the Chief Executive Council has been taught how to use a mic. So yeah, coming back, we have a business support team that go out and engage with businesses right across Kirklees, and I think this year they've met about 600. And one of the things, so that we get some consistent messages, which I think is really helpful for us to kind of target where we are going to put resources. So there's three things I would say at the moment that are kind of being fed back. One is the issues around energy and the cost of everything, the delays in the supply chains, the inability to source some products. Those kind of things are hugely being fed back in a way that probably they haven't in previous years. So there's definitely a cost of living element that's playing out. The second, and I think we're hearing this really loudly, is workforce and skills. So people are kind of the two things. I think there is definitely an issue post-COVID about people wanting different things out of life. We touched on that, certainly the importance of offering as an employer a choice and flexibility to enable to do that. So that's playing out. There's also playing out as well a number of people who've just chosen that they want to end their careers early, so a skills drain at the top of organisations, which people are beginning to see, and it's a really worry. And then I think at the lower end, giving job opportunities for young people who are coming in with the right skills to be able to develop, and be able to develop as the skills for the future that we might not even know about now. I think the stats say something like a young person leaving school at the moment in their career will probably average 38 jobs. So actually the days of coming in and joining an organisation and staying there are up. And so how does the industry respond to that? And then the final one that's being fed back to us is about sustainability. People are very worried around some of the targets that have been set in terms of climate, but also actually doing their bit, and how can they do that in this environment with cost pricing and those kind of things. So they're the three things that are being fed back. I then think from a Kirklees Council perspective, and just to kind of put this in context, the council still, despite all of the kind of reductions over the years, is £1 billion business, and what we're trying to really focus on is how do we innovate, how do we use local supply chains better, how do we have a procurement policy that really recognise social value, and those kinds of challenges, whilst trying to work out what the future will hold for both residents and for the staff. And then just to put it into perspective, when I first became Chief Executive about 6 years ago, Children's Services have gone into inadequate, and it is a really difficult time for any organisation to understand that it's been failing its Children's Services. And I thought, when I took up the role, well, I'll do this because this will be the most difficult thing that I ever have to do. And then COVID hits, and then I think, okay, well, I'll do this because this will be the most difficult thing I ever have to do. But I am sat having a look at some of the financial implications of some of the things that are playing out in terms of the pressures around demand at the front door from both social care and children's social care and adult social care, along with, the council as a business is experiencing all the same challenges around every construction project requires an additional 30% uplift, everything's being slowed down, and then understanding the implications of that on the local economy. So I think that there are a number of challenges, but I did say I was glass half full. I think in those challenges, those becomes a huge opportunity to do things in a very, very different way. And I couldn't agree more strongly about the importance of public-private collaboration as we go through the next few years. And if we do that really well, actually, we can be better at the end of it than when we started.
Thanks, Jackie. That is a really neat, hang on to that microphone, because that is a really neat segue to the final and easiest of all questions to each of you just to round off this session. So what do you think of the Kirklees Top 100 Companies Initiative?
I think it's amazing, and I predict that'll be the same.
Good answer.
Actually, Sue and I were speaking about this many years ago. In fact, I was just saying before, I remember doing this virtually a couple of years ago. And we are always staggered by the businesses that we've got at a local level. I think you touched on that. When you go out and visit a small business, you think, how can this business be in the middle of paddock? That's gone off now. Has it gone off? Try again. Can you hear me now? I promise I can balance budgets better than this. Remind me again what the question is. Oh yeah, so you can go into the middle of paddock or somewhere and you can just find a business that is global. It has, reaches to every massive business that you can think about. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, that's what we do. So it is a great, I'm sure this is, oh it is me. It is a great way of knowing what we've got on a local level, and it is a great way of recognising all of the talent in the borough.
Thank you.
Correct once more. An
It's not
there
me.
you are. There you go. Yeah, I mean, excellent. Clearly, I think we had the first face-to-face a few months ago, didn't we? And we were all kind of around the sides of the room, all remembering how to sort of speak to each other and shake hands and things. I think we've kind of got over that now. And it's really heartening to see you all here today. It's sort of very enthusiastic. An excellent event, super.
That's the second thing you have to do.
Obviously, I'm just on the panel for Mike's support. But on Kirklees 100, it's the first time the football club's been involved with it this year. It's something that we're absolutely passionate about supporting. I think everybody in the room is probably familiar with the story of Dean Hoyle, who's our owner, who epitomises kind of a business that started in Kirklees and grew and did really well. So Dean is absolutely adamant that we have relationships with businesses in this room, really. He sees the 350 employees down the road as 350 seats that could be coming on a match day and filling the tickets, selling tickets for generations. So it's about more than just a commercial relationship, it's about building real links. So the Kirklees 100 for us as a football club is an absolutely key demographic, hence opening the doors today, and I hope you've all enjoyed your visit. I'm sure it won't be the last. So yeah, it's absolutely crucial for us. It's about working with fewer businesses on a more meaningful level than just filling the roster with everybody that you can possibly get. It's about working with people that are in this room.
Thank you.
Yeah, a fourth vote for the Kirklees Top 100. I mean, it's great, isn't it? Look at all these people from all different businesses in the same room talking to each other. That's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Lovely. Thank you very much, panel. I'd like to ask everyone to join in thanking our panellists. I would now like to welcome up my colleague, Professor Jill Johns, Dean of the Huddersfield Business School, who's going to take you through the next stage of the very exciting countdown.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jill Johns. I'm Dean of Huddersfield Business School at the University of Huddersfield, and I'd like to welcome you to the unveiling of this year's Kirklees Top 100. This part of the event will be split into two stages. I'm going to begin by telling you a little about the methodology for compiling the Kirklees Top 100 list, and then I'll be unveiling the top 10 companies in reverse order, just to keep the excitement going, and including some announcements of prize winners along the way. So, methodology first of all. The Kirklees Top 100 list was derived from the FAME Bureau Van Dijk database. To start with, we collected a list of all the active companies which had a registered office with a Kirklees postcode. and the cut-off for this data collection was June 2022. We used 5 metrics on which we could measure the number of employees, the amount of turnover, the growth in turnover over the previous 2 years, profit before tax, and shareholders' funds. Now these are the same metrics as we've used in all previous years, so you can actually make comparisons over time. And they're also used in the top 100, the York top 100 that Sue referred to earlier. And thanks to Charles for all his help in supporting us in putting the list together the first time around. We took each of these metrics in turn and ranked each company from the highest to the lowest performing. And that meant that we had a set of 5 rankings. Now listen carefully. We then summed the ranks and then ranked the sum from highest to lowest performing. And that gives us our Kirklees top 100. And I'll be testing you on that as you leave the room, just to make sure you got it. So, moving on then. There are some companies missing from the list that you might expect to be on there because you notice them having considerable operations in the area. Now their omission might be for a number of reasons. So they might not actually have a registered office in the Kirklees region, even though their operations are here. Or it may be because we didn't have a complete set of data for them. So anybody in this list has to have a complete set of all 5 metrics from the FAME database. Or the data might have come into the database since our 30th of June cut-off point. So there are reasons why you might not be seeing some of the large companies that you would expect to be in there. So, ending then with the economic challenges faced by companies over the last few years, and I'm obviously thinking about COVID and Brexit in particular, and so I thought it might be useful to think what conclusions we might draw from this year's Kirklees Top 100 list, and in particular, what types of companies are thriving in Kirklees. Well, you've been seeing the list of the 11 to 100 companies. Just looking at the top 10, which I'm going to reveal in a moment, we can see names there that we might expect to have done well during a COVID period, such as providers of online shopping, providers of computers, and health-related products. But these sit alongside companies from an array of business areas, such as financial services, brand consultancy, paint production, textile flooring specialists, recovery services, and civil engineering. And that's just in the top 10. So Kirklees clearly has a vibrant and diverse business economy with a wide range of services and manufacturers. So you've already seen on the screen the 11th to 100 positions, and I'd like to say congratulations to all those companies who've made it onto this year's list. And I think it's really important for us to take this opportunity to celebrate that business success in Kirklees. So well done to all 100 companies. If you'd like a more detailed look at the top 100, as Sue said, you can find it in the brochure, which is online, the web address there, later in the day when we open it up. And also, we'll be distributing these lovely green brochures to you at the end of the event. So, we've now got to the stage where we can reveal the top 10 of those top 100 companies. At number 10 on the top 10 list is Fennox Textiles Limited. Fennox Textiles was established in 1954 by Jack Mosley. Jack was a local weaver who began by making fabric for bus seats and traditional hearth rugs that were woven from locally sourced wool and acrylic and cotton from Lancashire. 3 generations later, they are still manufacturing at their 2 sites in Sisset and Huddersfield. But they also have a manufacturing base in India, producing a large range of products that they are currently unable to produce here. But all design work is still done in the UK. At number 9, it's Maybe Hire Limited. Maybe Hire is an award-winning temporary works specialist and has been at the forefront of their industry for 60 years. building a reputation for engineering and service excellence. Maybe Hire has a 70-strong national engineering team who have delivered temporary works schemes for some of the most complex and largest construction and infrastructure projects in the UK. They also offer the UK's widest range of temporary works equipment for hire. At number 8, it's FMG Support Group Limited. FMG was established in 1986 in Huddersfield as Executive Fleet Management and remains one of the largest private employers in the town. Over the last 30 years, FMG have experienced substantial growth in core incident management markets, and they deliver business-critical 24-hour vehicle and driver support to blue-chip companies, leasing providers, motor insurers, Highways England, and several police forces. Next on the list at number 7, it's Fintel plc. Fintel is the new name for Simply Biz, and their aim is to simplify and improve UK retail financial services by acting in the best interests of the market, connecting and enabling advisors, providers and customers through technology, people and insights that help inspire better outcomes for all. Through a number of market-leading brands, they provide more support to key financial sectors than anyone else. At number 6 in the Kirklees Top 100 in 2022 is Tandem 1987 Limited. Founded in 1987, Tandem, which is known as Principal Group, is an international brand implementation company headquartered in Huddersfield with 22 offices in more than 70 countries. Clients span many sectors including automotive, corporate and industrial, financial services, health and wellness, hospitality and leisure, retail, and telecommunications and media. Over 700 employees solve problems to drive change and build growth. Next, at number 5, and up 2 places from last year's number 7, is PC Specialist Limited. PC Specialist Limited was established in 2003 and specialises, as you might expect, in build-to-order PCs, laptops, all-in-ones and servers, focusing on building high-performance systems and shipping throughout 30 countries across Europe. Not surprisingly, PC Specialist has experienced increased orders for their products over recent years, likely due to the impact of COVID-19. At number 4, it's Isaac Timmins Limited. Originally founded as Isaac Timmins Limited in 1929, we know this company better as the Myers Group, which can trace its modern-day heritage back to 1959, when Ready-Mix Huddersfield was incorporated. The Ready-Mix operation has since expanded into a regional business with 4 strategically located manufacturing plants. Group companies also include Johnson's Wellfield, founded in 1854 and acquired by the Myers family in 1979. Myers Group employs around 350 people across West Yorkshire. So I'm just going to make you wait a little bit longer for those top 3 because we have a number of awards to present and we're going to do that at this stage. And I want to introduce our Careers Edition sponsor, Steve Moore of City Fibre, who will hand out the awards to the well-deserving winners.
Thank you, Jill. Good morning, everybody. My name's Steve Moore. I'm an area manager for City Fibre. For those who don't know, we are a telecoms company currently on a national rollout to reach 8 million homes by 2025, which is a £4 billion investment. It's actually the UK's largest civil engineering project in its history, which we'll touch, I think, Jackie, as well, because it's something we both hold dear. Of all the investments that we deal with, and now we reach across all of the West Yorkshire authorities, which is fabulous, Kirklees will always have a special place in my heart, because it was through the support of Graham, Shabir and Jackie that we started here and then grew to those other authorities. And I don't know if anybody's seen nationally the press recently, but we have now just overtaken Virgin as being the #2 wholesaler in the UK for full fibre, which is fantastic news. We've been supporters of the Top 100 since its inception, and it's been fantastic to deal with the partners in what is really a fabulous programme. So a big thanks to the university and everybody for supporting us as sponsors. I just want to highlight though that to me the top 10, the top 100 isn't all about the top 10. To me it represents an enormous opportunity for the next generation of school leavers and university graduates to realise what fantastic businesses they have right on their doorstep, and you don't have to travel to Manchester or Sheffield or Leeds or any of the other areas that you might think would be top of your list. Thank you.
Our first award is for the highest new entrant. This goes to a company which has never appeared in any previous Kirklees Top 100 listing. Placed at number 29, the winner is Interior Goods Direct. Interior Goods Direct has traded exclusively online since 2003 and is one of the UK's largest online retailers of high-quality home furnishings. Almost everything is manufactured at their facility in Grangemore, Yorkshire, with products being produced by small, skilled teams. Now, we don't think that we have anyone in the room from Interior Goods Direct, but I'm just going to give a moment in case somebody has sneaked in. No, they aren't here. So we will make sure that they get their trophy following the event. Our next award is the highest placed SME, and we define an SME as an organisation with a turnover of less than 50 million euros and fewer than 250 employees. Placed at number 10 in the top 100, the winner is Fenox Textiles. As we've already heard, Fenox is a textile manufacturer located in Sissett and Huddersfield. And again, I don't think we have anybody in the room from Fenox, but I'm just going to give a moment. Nope, nobody's jumping up, so we will make sure their award gets to them as well. So our final award is the highest climber award. This goes to the company which has climbed the most places since last year's Kirklees Top 100. This year, the award goes to a company which has climbed a phenomenal 64 places. And the winner is Spectrum Yarns.
My name is Richard Brown. I'm the Managing Director. I also look at, I effectively do the Technical Director's job as well. Spectrum Yarns are worsted yarn spinners primarily. And we use the yarn that we make into consumer products, as well as being an intermediate processor for people who weave cloth or knit garments. We also use the yarn ourselves. We have our own knitting factory, and we also have our own craft brand. The knitting brand is called Glenbrae and has got a lot of distribution in the Gulf market. For example, we're the official supplier of knitwear to the Open Championship, and the craft side, Stylecraft, is brand leader in the value for money area and is in 950 retail outlets. The business is improving. You need to understand why. My daughter a few years ago asked if she could come into the family business, and I was getting ready to retire, so I was winding down. but now I'm trying to build a business for the next 25 years, so now we're investing quite a lot and building the business back up, so hopefully you'll continue to see improvement. This region historically has been the main area for textile manufacturing on predominantly wool. I'm talking about the West Riding of Yorkshire now, and this particular area, the Colne Valley, was historically the Silicon Glen of the textile manufacturing industry. So we had a lot of people who were trained in textiles, a lot of available labour, and Slathwaite was a hotbed of that. Unfortunately, it is no longer. I'm pretty much the only textile manufacturer left in Slathwaite, but we still have good links locally, and we're still known with the people, and we still recruit a lot from the local society, and it's very important to us that we are established here in a mill that's been going since 1907.
I believe we do have Richard Brown, owner and founder of Spectrum Yarns, here to collect the awards. So, Steve, I think you have it there.
You want it?
Up to the photographer. So, back to the top three in reverse order, and I'm pleased to introduce Councillor Shabir Pandor, leader of the Kirklees Council, who will hand out these awards.
Thank you very much. My name is Shabir Pandor. I'm leader of Kirklees Council. I've been a leader for nearly 5 years. Before that I was deputy leader, and before that I was part of the cabinet, and I've been in council for 22 years. Last 15 years have been quite challenging because, just to summarise, we had austerity. We were just coming out of austerity, and we started to invest in our local towns and local places and develop an investment budget. Just when we did that, we went into the pandemic. And like Jackie said, we thought, God, you know, this is really, really challenging and difficult. And we were just about coming out, and we thought, great stuff, we're going to start to do great stuff in Kirklees, Huddersfield Town Centre, £210 million, Control Heart Regeneration, Dewsbury Town Centre, £60 million uplift, and our smaller towns and villages. And then what happens? The cost of living crisis hits us. God Almighty, this is going to be very challenging. But having said that, you know, I'm quite optimistic, and when you've got a chief exec and a leader who are actually glass half full, it sometimes becomes very, very difficult, because then we have our statutory officers telling us, well, you can't do that, you can't do this. And that's where teamwork is very, very important, and through a very good exec team and an excellent cabinet, we actually are starting to actually carry on with our plans. And we do have a plan. It's fully costed. It's been checked out by all the finance people, so at least we know what we're doing in Kirklees. The other thing I want to just touch on is the challenges that we're facing. And it's people like you in this room, businesses that are so good at what you do. It's always very, very difficult to actually pick the top 100. And then from the top 100, pick the top 10. And that means that it's quite depressing sometimes for the ones that don't meet that 100. But that's not to say that the other non-100 ones are not successful, because I'm sure they are doing an excellent piece of work. And I'd like to congratulate all of them for working so hard throughout not just the pandemic and the cost of living crisis and the austerity, but throughout their existence, actually. Because we have got some great things happening in Kirklees. Sue mentioned this week is the West Yorkshire Innovation Festival, and yesterday night I was at the university talking about health tech, and it's through innovation that business, industry and community do that makes Kirklees so rich and so powerful. And I think that we've got something unique in Kirklees. Because I've worked with authorities, I've also done work across the country, And in my travels, I don't just work across England, I also work across Europe. And believe me, we've got something very unique here. And that's why I'm really proud to actually be standing here and basically talking to you people. And I've met some of you, a lot of you I haven't met, so I hope to actually catch up with you. Because together, I think we've got something very, very powerful. And in a time of crisis, that's when we actually are at our best. And I suspect that that's what we're going to be seeing in this room. We also have got our business team colleagues in the room. I'm sure some of you have met them. If you haven't, please do talk to them, because we are here to help. Just because we're in a crisis doesn't mean to say that we are actually putting our hands up and saying, oh, but we can't help you. In a crisis time, you need all the support and advice you can get, and the team is here, so please do talk to them. And once again, thank you all for attending. I thought it was going to be a cold morning, it's a wet morning, it's really warm, it's warm in here as well, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.
At number 3, and in the same position as last year, it's PPG Architectural Coatings UK. PPG was founded in 1883 as Pittsburgh Plate Glass. Despite retaining the PPG moniker today, the company is a global supplier of paints, coatings, optical products, and specialty materials, employing 47,000 employees worldwide, operating in more than 70 countries with 156 manufacturing centres. PPG manufactures all kinds of paint, from car paint to industrial paint and paint for homes for the inside, outside, wood and metal. I'd like to invite Rachel Copley, the Marketing Director for UK and Ireland at PPG, to collect this award, please. At number 2, it's last year's number 1, Thornton and Ross Limited. Thornton and Ross is now part of the Stada Group, but was originally founded as a manufacturing chemist for pharmacists by Nathan Thornton and Philip Ross in 1922. Mr. Thornton had previously worked with coal tar-based disinfectants, and his interest led him to develop the company's first brand, Zoflora. In addition to Zoflora, Thornton and Ross produces an impressive list of household names, including Cavonia, Cetraben, Hedrin, Urax, Tixilix, Savlon, and Ucril, and they're just the ones I can pronounce. It also produces many prescription products, such as moisturisers and innovative medicines. As part of the Stada Group, Thornton and Ross has international reach across 120 countries. I'd like to invite Kristen Holly, who is the UK Operations Manager from Thornton and Ross, to collect the award. So we know that it's going to be a new company at number 1. Coming in at number 1 It's last year's number 2 and Huddersfield-based Buy It Direct Limited. Based in Huddersfield and founded in 1999 by Nick Glynn, Buy It Direct sells products such as laptops, kitchen appliances, TVs, furniture and bathrooms through a network of websites including Laptops Direct, Appliance Direct and Furniture 123. The group now employs more than 800 employees with sites nationwide serving the whole of the UK. And I think we have a video.
Hi, my name's Nathan Paul and I'm Head of Business Solutions at Buy It Direct. Buy It Direct are one of the fastest growing e-tailers within the UK. We've been based in Huddersfield for just over 2 decades and we sell a variety of different goods. So laptops on our Laptops Direct website, hot tubs on our Outdoor Living website and kitchen appliances for Appliances Direct. For the last few years has been transformational for us as a business. We were already one of the largest e-tailers in the UK, and when everyone went into lockdown, we've seen a permanent shift within people's buying habits. So a lot of people have started to shop online for categories like hot tubs and dishwashers, but traditionally people would go to stores to buy. Huddersfield and Kirklees as a whole is crucial to how we are as a business. We've been based in Huddersfield with our head office for over 2 decades. All of our senior management team have grown up and live within Huddersfield. The head office roles that we've created over the last few years are continuing to grow, and we think that we provide great opportunities for talented and hard-working people within the different teams we have here, beyond digital marketing and creative to technology and human resources.
I'd like to invite Nathan Paul, Head of Business Solutions at Buy It Direct, to collect the award, please. So Nathan is just going to say a few words.
Testing. Yep. Thanks all for being here today. I want to start by saying thank you to Jill, to Sue, to Jordan and everybody else. So if you all join me in a round of applause, that'd be great. Thanks. As Jill said, we're a nationwide retailer. We sell online. We started as a computer shop 20 years ago in Fartown, just from here. And so the reason that we've grown so much is through the talent within Huddersfield. So we owe a lot back to the community. We value the relationship with the university and we plan to continue to invest. Thank you all.
Thank you very much and congratulations once more to everybody, and I'm going to hand back to Sue now.
Thank you, Jill. Congratulations to our top 10 and special award winners. And as has been said already, many congratulations to everyone featured in the top 100. On behalf of the Graham Buckley Innovation Centre, I'm also going to give a very special shout out to the 5 companies that are featured in the Innovation Spotlight this year, playing to that theme of the Innovation Week. So these are Woodcock and Wilson, fan manufacturers from Crossland Moor. Ionics Advanced Technologies, who make ceramic sensors in Huddersfield. Essential Healthcare Solutions in Birstall, who design specialist mattresses for pressure support. Magna Group, who specialise in ceramic and catalyst materials that lower energy costs, based in Dewsbury. And last but not least, AUS Limited from Huddersfield, who work in the field of rail and utility safety. So these firms firms have several Queen's Awards between them for innovation and enterprise, so congratulations on your innovation success. We look forward to seeing more of you in future years. So just before we close the formal proceedings, here's a few details of what's coming next. So the talent group we mentioned earlier meets at Thornton and Ross's new HQ at Globe Mills in Slathwaite on the 15th of November. So if you would like your HR lead person to join that group, please do email us or speak to one of us today. Please follow us, the Kirklees Top 100 on Twitter and LinkedIn, and if you could ask your social media people to share stories with us about your companies, we will promote your successes. And then also join us throughout the rest of the year when we will run extra events on topics of common interest. We have a business sounding group, several people here today from that. I see Paul Joyce at the back there, and there's one or two others in the room. If you'd like to join us to help shape the programme, then please again do volunteer to get involved. We've got a slide coming up with our email contact details, so please jot those down if you need them. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for coming here to celebrate the Kirklees Top 100 Companies for 22-23. I'd like to thank the brilliant team who has worked together so well to bring this year's edition and event to fruition. I'd like to thank City Fibre, our sponsor, and Huddersfield Town FC for generously providing their hospitality and looking after us so well today. So thank you everyone. So please feel free now to continue making connections, finishing up the croissants, and please, on your departure, take with you a handful of these from our colleagues who will be out here with the big boxes full. So please take some to share back at the ranch. And could I ask those people who've got trophies, as well as our panellists and speakers, to just join for one more joint photograph at the front before you leave. We'll just do that around the corner there. So that's everything. So have a good journey back. Wishing you hope to see you